If you're a facilities manager at a warehouse and your HVAC system goes down, it can turn up the heat, literally. But don't sweat it, Grainger has you covered. Grainger offers over 1 million industrial-grade products for all your operations, including warehouse HVAC maintenance. And even better, they offer access to experts and fast delivery, so you and your warehouse can both keep your cool. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Coming up on this episode of DL Weekly, Magic Keys are going back on sale. The change to Bayou Country is official. A new shop is open in the new area.
A popular parade is returning to DCA. A new treat comes to downtown Disney. Some holiday dining experiences are also coming. We finish our talk with DisneylandNurse Scott and more. DL Weekly starts now.
Welcome to Toad Hall. To ensure a safe and glorious drive in your motor car, remain firmly seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside. Watch your children, and do try to drive more carefully than James and Vern. Ta-ta!
Hello and welcome to this episode of DL Weekly for the week of October 30th, 2024. I'm Teg Bushman.
And I'm Teresa Urban. Happy Halloween. We would like to thank everyone who supports the show. This week, we would like to give a special shout out to Rebecca W., Robert L., Joanne A., and Ashley E. If you would like to help support the show and get ad-free versions of each episode, plus access to our supporter-only chat and a bunch of other perks, head on over to dlweekly.net/support and become an official weekly tier.
I feel like you saying Happy Halloween, I should be like Disneyland and be like, we're already in Christmas time, Teresa. Now let's...
That was last month.
Yeah. Now let's get to the news.
Extra, extra, read all about it. DL Weekly reports from intrepid correspondents Tag and Teresa. You heard it here first, ladies and gents. Breaking news!
Weekly tiers who want to get a magic key are in luck on Wednesday, November 6th at no earlier than 8:45 a.m. Disneyland time. The queue will open for new sales online. For all of the details, including pricing and perks associated with each level of key, visit the link in our show notes.
This is pretty
Why
exciting.
did we not know?
Yeah, I know. If we could only look into our crystal ball and know the future. I don't remember, maybe we've talked about this on the podcast. For sure, we talked about it with some of our supporter streams and our public live streams. But we were actually on the fence on if we were going to renew when our keys came up this past year, because they came up in September. And we don't have our next trip planned yet. So it was kind of yes, we know we're going again, but we don't know when. And since the year clock starts ticking as soon as you renew, we're like, does it make sense to have a key for potentially 6 months if we're not going in those first 6 months? So we were kind of going back and forth, but then we got paranoid because we didn't want to lose out on having a key. So ultimately, we did renew. I will say, plus side, our renewal period was right before the price increase.
So that's something.
So that was at least something. But yeah, we could have pushed it down a little bit further. So we might have to remind ourselves, if we have the same conundrum next year, it will be okay. I think it's now kind of safe to say Magic Keys typically are going back on sale right before the holiday season so that you can, so it's kind of like, right, could be a gift for the holiday season. This is not, they did this last year and I believe the year before. So I think this is kind of a new thing. So if you're like us and you panic bought because you didn't want to be without a key, reminder, they will come back. We just don't always know when, but they will come back.
I wish you could, like you were saying, I wish for the renewal or even just for a new key. I guess a new key, you can kind of do this. Mm-hmm. But it'd be really nice to be like, I would like this to start on this day.
Yeah, so if you're purchasing a brand new key, your clock does not start running until the first time you log in, check into the park.
Yeah.
So for example, when we renewed in September, if it would have been a brand new key that we bought in September, the year clock wouldn't start ticking until our first trip. So we wouldn't have had to worry about the months in between, because they were just months in between at that point. Whereas now, it's time we could have been at the parks.
It's linked to your Disney ID though. That's the problem. Because I was like, I wonder if if we would have just created a second Disney ID, we could have bought like brand new ones and not started the clock on it and let the other one expire. But that seems like a lot of complicated back and forth. Yeah. So if you want it, you can get all the different levels. The highest level is $1,749 and the lowest level is $599. So they did go up quite a bit. So if you wanted one, now's the time. Give yourself a little holiday treat, I guess.
There you go.
And we don't know how long they'll be on sale for. So...
Well, it's official. Critter Country is now Bayou Country. So this time it's like blatantly official. I know we already reported that cast members had been told of the change, but now the amazing detailed sign has been installed and it was unveiled last week. The sign is carved out of wood like a few of the other new signs in the area. I suspect it feels very much like the Critter Country sign, but they just kind of bayou-ified it. So I'm pretty sure the critters on the sides are the same.
Somebody online
or at least
said
similar.
that it is a subtle nod to Splash Mountain because you have a bunny, it's like Brer Rabbit. You've got a bear, it's like Brer Bear. You got a fox, like Brer Fox, and then you've got like the bird that apparently was also inside of Splash Mountain. So could be. So
that is a wonderful thought. However, I did just pull up what the official Critter Country sign was, and it was identical. So I think it's the same.
When it was Splash Mountain.
Yep. It was the same critters, and they just added I'm not sure if that's a blue stork or like a pelican. The blue bird on top is the new critter for Bayou Country, and then obviously the word Bayou.
It looks great.
And I like the moss that's kind of hanging off the side. It looks like there's lights, too, in the sign. I like it. I think it's a nice blend.
I'm looking at the photo that you have, and I'm looking at this, and I'm trying to figure out how they replaced the middle. Did they just shave down the old thing and put a new thing on?
I'm not sure.
Or did they remove the middle part and just keep
can you slide it in between? Can you slide?
Or just take the characters off of it somehow? Sure. I don't know.
Magic tag. Disney magic.
But it does look like they look very sharp. Like looking at this picture, it looks like a artist rendition almost. Looks great.
Yeah, they're very fresh. So it's not like the critters that have been there for both versions of the sign are sun faded and you can tell what's new and not new. You have to look at the two side by side and be like, oh, okay. Because I'm sure there's probably many people that at first glance and at first thought, they think it's a whole brand new sign.
Well, now I'm curious.
Now you're curious if it dates all the way back to
the Bear Country.
The Bear Country.
There might not have even been a sign for Bear Country back in the day. Yeah, it just says Critter Country. I don't see anything. People weren't as big with their phones back then, so who knows? Anyway, we can move on. Well, not much is left unopened in Bayou Country after Ray's Berets opened this week. The re-themed shop is full of little touches to Ray's friends and family. There are a set of jars on the wall that are the homes to the Fireflies. There are animated windows in the shop as well. As for the merchandise, the shop sells pretty much the same headwear the previous version of the store did. This store looks amazing.
However, MiceChat is reporting that the merch is temporary until Tiana's Bayou Adventure officially opens next month. So there might be a shift in merch. But let's talk about the store itself. How stinking adorable. I love this. I would live at Ray's Berets. It is so cute. I may be biased because Ray is one of my favorite Disney characters. It's the details in this shop are great. The thing that I really love is it feels similar to what the Briar Patch was, but also not just like it was a cheap makeover. Does that make sense?
Oh, totally. Looking at the photos we have linked in the show notes, they put some effort into this.
Yes, there's things like, yes, there are the wood carvings like they had in the previous rendition of the shop, but it feels like a different space.
Yeah.
I think they did a really nice job. I'm very excited to see this in person.
Yeah, it looks like it'd be really cool. The only thing that I'm worried about is there's a lot of cool little details at the top of some of the shelving. I guess that's tall enough that guests aren't going to be able to mess with it too much. But one of them is actually It looks like it's like Ray's bedroom.
It is. It's Ray's
and
home.
Out front, there's like a little mailbox that's kind of tucked behind. And I was just thinking, because we've seen this with a lot of new stuff, especially like Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, if guests can get at it and like pull. So I'm worried that this is going to like get damaged by guests, which I hope is not the case. But I hope that by the time we get to see it, it's still in good shape, I guess.
It's so cute. I don't know
I'll actually
why,
go into the shop now.
But the jars make so much sense, but it was very unexpected to have all the little Firefly like jar homes on display. I just think it's so cute. And they're all very unique, the jars and like the contents inside. There's a little like cross-stitch sign on the mantle that says jar, sweet jar. It's so good.
Yeah. Did you see the video that MiceChat posted of like kind of the walkthrough? What do you think of the animated window?
That's really cool. That's a really, really beautiful detail. Because it just, like, you walk into this store and I don't know, you almost feel like you're transported to like the bayou at night.
Which means they did their job.
And the magic windows are so cool. And you can see little fireflies buzzing through. Ray spells out his name. They did a really nice job with this. And again, the animated window, they did not have to do that. This is a shopping location.
Yeah.
But they did.
It looks great. I can't wait to see it in person. If any of you go and check it out, let us know what you think of it in person, because it's pretty dang sweet.
I just realized in the midst of their little jar homes is a little outhouse.
There's an outhouse?
A little firefly outhouse.
Where did you see this?
Where the like go up, where the line of jars are.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's cute.
The details.
Oh my goodness.
Well, a popular parade looks to be returning to Disney California Adventure in the future. Auditions for the Together Forever parade were posted online, with character and performer auditions both being posted. Characters include, who all do we see? Joe Gardner, the Four Town Guys, the Inline Skaters is another position that was posted. Jin Lee,
Four Town,
Miriam, and Abby and Priya.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, pretty exciting. So now, this then makes my little brain go.
Mm-hmm.
So with the Together Forever parade coming back, presumably to DCA, do you think that means we will then have a daytime parade at Disneyland? Or is Disneyland's parade just going to potentially be Paint the Night? Or, like, what do you think the parade
What do I think or what do I hope?
Going to be? We can do both.
Okay. Okay, now I kind of went back on myself. I think what'll happen is I think we'll have Together Forever during the day at DCA, and we'll they'll probably put Paint the Night back at Disneyland, even though everybody kind of wants it at DCA, because they are announcing it for Disneyland's 70th, so I feel like it'll be at Disneyland. And I think because of that they'll keep Magic Happens during the day. So I think one of the two parks will have two parades.
Oh, yeah, I think that too.
But I just don't know which park.
Yeah.
And if they wanted to get crazy, which I don't think they will, they could do what we've talked about before, is Magic Happens and Electrical Parade at Disneyland, Paint the Night, and Together Forever at DCA, and that would be amazing.
Amazing.
But I don't think they're going to do that. I think that they are giving the Electrical Parade a break, and Paint the Night is going to be like the headline thing, at least for nighttime entertainment.
I'm still kind of wondering if Paint the Night will be at Disneyland, because I'm just thinking logistically, if you've got Fantasmic going, the fireworks going, and then a nighttime parade there, so that's 3 nighttime things happening at Disneyland, versus the only nighttime thing happening at DCA's World of Color, it would also almost make more sense to me to have 2 and 2. 2 nighttime events in DCA, 2 nighttime events in Disneyland.
Oh, like Fantasmic and World of Color being the second nighttime thing is what you're saying in each? Okay. I'm also wondering, and this is out of nowhere, and it's probably not going to happen, but it would be awesome. I'm also wondering do we get Murphy back for the 70th?
Please. Yes.
Because I can see, especially with some of the problems we reported on last week about like the pyro and stuff not going off, I could see after the holidays, Fantasmic going on hiatus for 3 or 4 months.
Giving it, a full...
And doing a refurbishment
refresh
on it, making sure everything's working fine, and then debuting Murphy 2.0. Who knows?
Could be.
How long does it take to do something like that? I don't know.
That's a great question.
I don't know.
That's a great question.
But I'm glad that Together Forever is coming back because I actually thought it was kind of a fun parade.
It was.
Well, a new snack truck has rolled into downtown Disney. Kathy's Cookies has arrived, serving up fresh-baked chocolate chip cookies. They come in a sleeve, a bucket, in cookie dough form, and sundae varieties. You can also get a carton of milk if you like cookies with milk. By the way, this is like an 8-ounce carton of milk, so not like a carton of milk. Be sure to check their schedule on Instagram to catch them because they are not necessarily there every single day.
Chocolate chip cookies are becoming the new food for Disneyland because there was such a craze when the chocolate chip cookies came to Harbor Galley, and now we've got fresh chocolate chip cookies also in downtown Disney. How fun. I really enjoy that they bring in these different food trucks with different local places to kind of showcase off, whatever their products are. So like the shaved ice or the Italian ice place in the sun. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. And now like a warm chocolate chip cookie on a cool fall or cold winter day. Perfect.
I wonder how large these cookies are. The reason I'm wondering is MyChat has a photo of like their menu and the price there. So they have a bucket of cookies for $28 that includes about 36 fresh chocolate chip cookies. They have a sleeve of cookies for $17, which is 12 to 14 fresh chocolate chip cookies. And then they have a cookie sundae for $17. That's 2 scoops of vanilla ice cream with 5 fresh chocolate. That's a lot of cookies. A bucket of cookie dough to go is 36 ready-to-bake cookies for $25. And then the 8-ounce carton of milk is $2. I don't know. Could be cool. I like the idea that they sell the cookie dough because I love
Do you think it's cookie dough safe to just nibble on, or it's... No, you need to bake this.
You probably should bake them, but I'm one of those people that throws caution to the wind and just eats them.
But they do there are places that sell cookie dough specifically to eat raw.
Yeah. I've never gotten sick off of raw cookie dough, but I am not somebody that you should take advice from, just to be clear.
I get what you're saying, but I'm just wondering if it's the encouraged to eat raw cookie dough because it's safe to eat raw cookie dough, or if it's just regular cookie dough.
Yeah. Well, they said 36 cookies worth, so I think that the idea is that you would take it home and bake it.
There you go.
But I also can't imagine... I mean, this is in downtown Disney, so if you're local, you could go there and not be going in the park. But I'm just imagining, buying cookie dough and then, I'm going into the theme park now.
You buy it on your way out.
There you go.
Well, with the holidays just around the corner, there are some newly announced dining experiences at the resort. Holiday tea with Santa and Mrs. Claus at the Hearthstone Lounge is on select days December 3rd through the 24th. This is a big deal because afternoon tea has been on hiatus and it is back with this holiday tea. There's also Mickey's Holiday Pajama Party Breakfast and Brunch at Storytellers Cafe. It's November 19th through January 1st. And Goofy's Kitchen Celebrates the Holidays is November 19th through January 2nd.
And there's another one that they snuck in here on me that is the Storytellers Cafe Holiday Dinner. This is happening on Thanksgiving, it looks like.
Wow.
Mickey and friends won't be there, but there'll be plenty of foodie fun to be had for this.
It's all you care to enjoy, a holiday dinner buffet. Look at that.
Yeah. So what are you excited about? I think the tea, obviously.
I have never done one of the teas, one of the afternoon tea services that I think they used to have them at the Disneyland Hotel, but one of our community members was a huge fan, and she would always go with her daughter, and they would share photos of all the fun little finger foods and treats that they got. They looked so fun and so cute. Plus, every time they were highly themed to whatever it was for that time. So that's the one that catches my eye because that seems like a very fun and unique experience. Not to say that character dining isn't a fun. It is. It's a different type of fun and unique experience. But I don't know. There's something. This just feels extra unique to me for some reason. I think maybe because we live in an area that tea this afternoon teas are not really a thing that we can experience somewhere to experience. So this feels a little more special.
Yeah.
But character dining is always a good time as well.
If you are interested in that tea, booking opens on Halloween.
Mark your calendars.
So get in there early if that's something you want. It looks like, according to the Disneyland website, it is available from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. on select weekdays, beginning December 3rd through the 24th. You get to choose from 3 delicious options for your holiday tea time. You get the deluxe tea, which features a choice of premium loose leaf, herbal, and blooming teas, a glass of champagne, caprese and shrimp salads, tea sandwiches, scones and holiday sweets, and strawberries with chantilly cream for $120 plus tax per guests. And then there's a classic tea.
The classic tea has a choice of premium loose leaf, herbal, and blooming teas, caprese salad, tea sandwiches, scones, and holiday sweets. That is $84 plus tax per guest, as well as the child's tea. The menu is a little bit lighter portion of the tea time treats, including choice of tea or a different beverage, as well as the scones and holiday treats for $44.
Yeah, so this could be fun. I think this could be really cool. For me, I don't know if it's worth $124, but like you said, one of our community members loved the tea service. So maybe it's totally worth it for just like a special like holiday occasion that you do as like a special treat, like, you know, once for your whatever. You're obviously not going to do this like weekly or anything like that.
Well, and same with like character dining. It's kind of like a special fun experience, not something that you're going to do every day of your trip necessarily, but like it's a fun and unique and very Disney splurge item.
Well, guests staying at one of the Harbor Boulevard hotels on Halloween can take part in trick-or-treating. There are 14 participating hotels, with the event starting at 3 p.m. and ending at 8 p.m. on October 31st. Participants need to show their room key. The hotels are located between the Howard Johnson, that's kind of one end of the route, all the way to the Castle Inn and Suites, which is at the other end of the route. A map and more details are in our show notes.
This is fun. I'm sure it's probably for children, but I would totally do this. How cool, like how fun is it that all these different hotels that are literally across the street in most cases kind of get in and do this fun Halloween walk thing together and all participate in trick or treat. And it's a kind of a long event, 5 hours to be able to go through all the hotels, which I feel like probably you should be able to make it all. But just so cool. But so the key to it, though, is you have to be staying at one of the hotels. And while you're trick-or-treating, make sure that you bring your hotel room key along and say, you know, trick-or-treat. And that way they know that you're someone that is able to participate. Because like Tig mentioned, it is only open to guests staying at those hotels listed. But yeah. More info in the show notes.
I don't think we've ever heard of this before. So this is a pretty cool thing that they're doing.
Card holders who are Marvel fans can get 30% off a Marvel Unlimited subscription with the code DRVCMember.
That's pretty cool, because the one thing that's awesome about the Marvel Unlimited is you get access to over 30,000 Marvel comics. So if you're a Marvel comic fan, or maybe you just wanted to get into Marvel comics, 20% off a subscription, and that's for a whole year. So that's pretty good.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
And it is always a premium to stay at one of the Disneyland Resort hotels. So I know it's always exciting when there's deals, because if this has been on one of your Disney bucket lists, you know, if this is one of the things you want to do, this makes it a little bit more affordable for you, because it is they do come at a premium, but this is a great chance to enjoy that and save a little money.
So Teresa has been spending a little bit of time doing her homework to follow up on our topiary trivia question that we had. Tell us about this journey you went on.
So I do need to give a shout out. We did have a weekly tier message in because they spied some stuff online that we hadn't mentioned. So shout out to any weekly tiers that had kind of helped with the research of this. I do need to call out, I haven't finished the list. So there are still more topiaries to be found. I believe it was 20. The trivia question was there's 25 topiaries, and it's either animal or character topiaries. So that's the big thing. So it can't just be trees that are done in funky shapes and, you know, that sort of thing. Animal or character topiaries. 25 around the resort, 21 in Disneyland, 1 in DCA, and 3 at the Disney Resort hotels. So we'll start with the easy one. The 3 at the Disney Resort hotels are at the Disneyland Hotel. It is Mickey, Minnie, and Pluto. You can find them right by the pool there. They're all 3 in a row, kind of near where Goofy's Kitchen is, if you're on the hunt for topiaries. I have not figured out the DCA one yet. I need help with the one that's at DCA. I thought, and it's true, there is tire-shaped topiaries over by Luigi's Rollickin' Roadsters, but I feel like those don't count since it said it needs to be an animal or their animal or character topiaries. Okay. So I think there's a mystery topiary somewhere that I'm not thinking of in DCA. So shout out to Weekly Tiers if you're going to the parks, or if you know off the top of your head, please help me. What is a topiary in DCA?
Okay.
Disneyland, this is the tough one. Majority of them, of course, are at Small World. I will try and name them. I have a list. I left it somewhere where I cannot get it. It is not at home with me, so I cannot read my list, but I will try and name them for you off the top of my head. We have 2 dolphins in the front. There is a sea monster, like a serpent sea monster in the queue area, kind of towards the front of the queue. And then as you get in your boat, you go around, you see a moose, you see a bear, you see a reindeer, and you see a horse. There's also reference to an American bison. However, in recent videos that we're using for my research, I could not see him there. So he may be backstage right now. So he's kind of up in the air right now as far as my count goes.
Okay.
Once you go to the other side, you see a wildebeest.
Is this the bison or no?
That is a moose.
That's a moose. Sorry.
Yep, that's a moose. You see now I got to remember. You see a wildebeest, a zebra, a giraffe, a lion, a rhino with a stork on his head, 2 ostriches, and I'm missing one.
The fact that you know all of these.
And there's one other one that I'm missing.
That's crazy.
But yeah, so anyways, my final count was I found 19, possibly 20, because we're going to go back and forth on if the American bison is there and just on break or if he's not there. So there's one in Disneyland that I'm missing. The other ones at Disneyland there are 2 swans in front of the castle. And the one that I completely I am embarrassed to admit, walked past countless times and never noticed. And I feel like you would have been in the same boat, except you were just watching the video that I have linked that I will tell everybody about. There's a Dumbo topiary in Fantasyland in front of the Dumbo attraction.
Is that still there?
It's still there.
I feel very silly for never noticing this.
I mean, according to Google Maps walking around view, because that was the best I could do research-wise, Dumbo is still there, and I've just never paid attention to the poor guy.
Oh, yeah.
Poor Dumbo. The Dumbo topiary was like the wild card. As of April
2023, there he was.
That was the wild card, and I was like, what? So I have a count of, again, 19, maybe 20. So I think there is still one topiary that I am missing in Disneyland that I don't know of.
Disneyland or DCA? Disneyland.
One topiary in Disney. There's only one period in DCA. Okay. I don't know what it is because it needs to be a character or an animal, and I cannot think of it. I think perhaps there was a race car topiary at some point. I don't know if that's still there, nor do I know if that counts as it was a car topiary. So maybe it's one of the specific Cars characters.
Okay.
And maybe that's the topiary.
Huh.
But I was having trouble because my resources, aka Google Maps, and there's the bison. He's a little bit tucked further back, so the bison does exist.
What is this?
That's the bear.
Oh, okay.
I still need some help. If anybody is going to be at the parks, keep your eyes open for any topiaries so that we can complete the list. Or let me know if there is, in fact, a car topiary over by Luigi's, and we're going to say that one counts and it's a Cars character. Oh, no, I got all of them over there.
There's a ton right here.
I know. The other cool thing, too, that I didn't realize or never put 2 and 2 together.
Is that a lion?
Yep, that's the lion. He's kind of back in the corner there. That's the stork on top of the rhino. The other thing, too, that I didn't realize that I was telling Tag was it's kind of like there's the animals are grouped. So it's almost like North America animals are over at the entrance. And then I don't know, animals that you find in different parts of the world are on the other. Like, it almost felt like it feels intentional because the lion is not next to the bear.
Yeah.
The bear is next to the bison and the moose, which makes sense for like North American animals versus like elephants and zebras that you would find in like Africa. I thought that was really cool. I never put that together, but they are even, of course I should know this, that Disney themed even the topiaries and the placement of the topiaries.
Where are the swan topiary? That's by the castle?
Other side.
I'm on the wrong side. This is like, who'd have thought that one trivia question would take us on such a journey to all these different...
behind you.
Like over here somewhere? Or over here?
They're right there.
Oh, okay.
So if you're looking at the castle, the swans are just to the right of the castle. In front of the castle, there's like a little garden. There's a churro cart that's usually in front of them. That's probably why you've not paid attention.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, wild.
Goodness gracious. Okay. And then, okay.
That concludes my topiary research. If anyone has anything to add so they can help me with confirm the topiary that I think is in Cars Land that I cannot confirm.
Yeah. Because you thought it was here, right?
I thought the topiary was back by Luigi's Rollickin' Roadsters. And I thought it was where the like Horn of Plenty is placed during the holidays. I could be completely wrong and had made that up. And one more in Disneyland that I need to find. So I think everyone knows what I'm going to be keeping my eyes peeled for next time I'm at the parks.
Yeah. Yeah.
But where else in DCA do you think a topiary would make sense?
I feel like Cars Land is like the obvious location.
Cars Land feels like the right place, but but maybe not.
Somebody out there has got to know.
Someone knows.
Somewhere. You know what we should have done? You should have just emailed guest services, and they probably have a list they could have sent us.
That would have been not as fun as all the research I did with trying to spy what I could spy from the internet and YouTube videos. And
my goodness.
It was a journey, but it was fun.
I am Groot.
What do you mean you're hungry? Kraglin needs those pots for the rehydrator. We don't have time for snacks.
I am Groot.
Were you talking to Tag and Teresa again? How'd they even get a hold of you?
I am Groot.
Fine. One snack. That's it.
I am Groot.
No, I haven't seen any churros. You gotta talk to Vern. And stop smiling.
Well, this week for Snack Chat, we are continuing our tour around the resort to various different places to eat. And this week we have gotten around to a very storied location, actually, because I remember eating breakfast here forever and ever ago when it was not the Galactic Grill. But let's talk about the Galactic Grill.
The Galactic Grill is still open for breakfast. One of the few places in Disneyland that does offer breakfast and is quick service, so that's always very, very welcome. They always have, it's a great place to go for seasonal offerings. They always seem to have a ton of different seasonal offerings. They do currently right now. We will not go through all those. We're just going to go through the permanent menu options. So for breakfast, your entrees, this is so fun, include chicken tenders and funnel cake fries served with house-made maple syrup.
Ooh.
That is new since the last time we got breakfast there.
That sounds good.
There's also an American breakfast burrito. I've heard good things about this. Flour tortilla with egg, bacon, sausage, hash browns, and cheese.
You can also get a breakfast bagel sandwich, which is crispy bacon, cheddar, eggs, and chipotle aioli on a toasted Asiago bagel. That actually sounds good, too. And a galactic sunrise funnel cake fries, which is topped with powdered sugar and served with house-made maple sauce. You know what? Didn't they used to have... Am I crazy? Didn't they used to have French toast sticks here? I feel like that's what I bought. Yeah. So they've replaced it with the funnel cake fries.
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. On the lighter option, they do also have seasonal fruit available as well. There is a plant-based breakfast option here. There's a soy chorizo country breakfast burrito made with soy chorizo, spiced potatoes, grilled peppers and onions, egg, cheddar, pico de gallo, and chipotle sauce in a spinach flour tortilla.
Ooh.
I do want to mention it is marked as plant-based, so that means it is plant-based egg and cheese and sauce that is on here. So it's like a plant-based cheddar and a plant like a faux egg, plant-based egg product on there. It's not actual. That would be counterproductive if it was real egg and real cheese.
Well, that makes sense. You can also get sides there, of course, of bacon, hash browns, sausage, and seasonal breakfast potatoes. And then they have some desserts, which I think are around all day. What do they have for the kids' check meals?
There's a breakfast slider as well as a power pack. So the breakfast slider is egg and turkey bacon on a slider bun, served with a choice of small low-fat milk or water. And then the power pack is a yogurt smoothie, a Cuties mandarin orange, carrots, and whole grain fish crackers, served with choice of either milk or water.
What are... Oh, like fish crackers. That's like soup cracker thing. Oh, okay. Fish. Hello. I was thinking literally made out of fish, and I was like, that sounds intriguing. I should try that.
No. They also do have a cold brew coffee at this location. It is just a standard cold brew served over ice, so it is not doesn't have any fancy flavors or toppings or anything like that. Just good old-fashioned cold brew.
And, of course, this is a great location if you are having lunch or dinner as well. One of the things that they have there, of course, is like burgers and tenders. So they have a Ghost. This is a seasonal thing, but it's listed there. A Ghost of Anaheim burger, which is an Angus beef and vegetable patty. Ooh, beef and vegetable patty. Ghost pepper salsa verde sauce, pepper jack, green chili pico de gallo, cilantro lime, cabbage slaw, and crispy onions on a toasted brioche bun. Serve a choice of Cuties mandarin oranges or French fries. They have just a plain chicken tenders, which comes with Cuties, orange, or French fries.
There's also a cheeseburger, which is, you guessed it, beef patty with American cheese, lettuce, house burger sauce, served with choice of either Cuties or fries. There is a chopped salad. I'm going to have to try this. It is mixed lettuce with grilled chicken, cucumber, tomato, onion, red pepper, and feta cheese, served with roasted red pepper ranch dressing.
Ooh.
That sounds good.
They also have a Galaxy fish and chips, which I think I saw this one there last time and I said, we should try that sometime, and it never did. It's fried fish and malt seasoned steak fries served with house-made tartar sauce. We have to try that next time.
And again, plant-based offering here. There is a black bean veggie wrap. Vern actually tried this when we were there last for Pride Night. It is black bean and fire-roasted corn medley, mixed greens, cheese, and sun-dried tomato spread, served with choice of course, you guessed it, Cuties mandarin orange or French fries. He actually really enjoyed this.
Yeah. For the sides, you can get a side of French fries or, of course, a dill pickle.
I do need to mention, they have magic key holder offerings at this location, which typically is like special sippers or tumblers. However, they have a magic key holder meal offering here. It is the double cheeseburger combo, which comes with double cheeseburger with grilled onions, lettuce, pickles, American cheese, mustard, and house sauce on a toasted brioche bun, served with, again, you guessed it, Cuties mandarin oranges or French fries, and a magic key thermal tumbler with a choice of fountain beverage.
That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah. When the Villains tumbler is priced at $30.49, and you get a magic key tumbler included in your meal with a total cost of $24.99, that's a really good deal.
Yeah, that's a good deal. Of course, they have all the different assorted beverages like you'd find pretty much anywhere, but they also have like apple juice. So they have Simply Apple, Minute Maid apple juice, some low-fat milk, coffee, chocolate milk, Simply Orange, bottled water, hot tea, hot cocoa, all that normal stuff.
For the kids, there's a kids hamburger meal or macaroni and cheese meal, and they even have a toddler meal here, which of course is yummy, cheesy macaroni. Different than the kids' meal macaroni and cheese, of course.
Served with applesauce and a small milk. Nice.
Yep, served with applesauce instead. So I would say that Galactic Grill's kind of one that we
overlook,
kind of forget about. We usually tend to go there for the seasonal offerings and not the regular menu offerings, but there's a lot of different things. I think in my mind, Galactic Grill was kind of always I never thought there was anything that I needed to go out of my way to get over their place, but they've been killing it with the specialty offerings at that location.
Yeah.
So perhaps we need to give the regular menu a try again.
I also feel like I did order like one of the specialty drink things from them when we were waiting for the parade.
Yeah.
And it was this is almost like the Hungry Bear, where they have a lot of people working there and like they pump stuff out of here. Like it's a high volume location. So you're not going to have to wait that long. And even if you don't do mobile order, there are a lot of walk up windows, which I feel like a lot of the places around Disneyland don't have as much anymore. But this one does. By the way, did you see with the Hungry Bear opening this last week that there was a line all the way down down the ramp for people waiting to
Go
order food.
Hungry Bear Barbecue Jamboree.
Yeah.
I did see that so far, reports and reviews that I've come across online, lots of praise. A lot of people are giving it like 8 to 9 to 10 out of 10 ratings on all the different items that they were choosing. So it sounds like it's a really welcome and really good addition to the quick service lineup at the parks. Well, calling all weekly tiers, we are once again doing our supporter holiday ornament exchange. If you are a supporter, head into the Discord chat and sign up to join the fun. Each participating weekly tier gets anonymously paired with another weekly tier, and ornaments are exchanged. We have a Zoom call where we open them all together and see the joy and fun experience on everyone's faces. It's really fun and really special. Something that we look forward to every year. If this sounds like fun to you, it isn't too late. Sign up at dlweekly.net/support and head into the Discord to get all the details.
We also will be posting this just on Patreon.
Yes.
So if you don't want to be in the Discord, you can still sign up for the exchange. And that'll be going live right at the beginning of November.
Yep. November 1st is the kickoff for that.
Reminder for all weekly tiers. These questions can feel like a high-speed roller coaster type ride in the dark with self-high fives, sudden drops, and stumps. Follow all pre-launch procedures, including stowing hats, glasses, and all loose possessions in the cargo pouch located directly in front of you.
Hello there. Welcome to TriviaLand. Hope you two are having a spooky day, perhaps.
I'm looking forward to handing out candy and stuff. It's one of the highlights of the year.
Me
all the
too.
kids in the neighborhood, their costumes.
We try to be the cool house. If anybody
You are the cool house.
No, we try to be the cool house, but we have a very not trick-or-treat heavy
Low
neighborhood.
volume.
Yes. So every year, I'm sorry, James, I'm going a little off topic. Every year we host a pumpkin carving party and have a yard full of freshly carved jack-o'-lanterns. And then we also hand out full-size candy bars. And I'm sad to report we still only get like maybe 10 trick-or-treaters, but it's fun and we enjoy it anyway. That's how we're able to do full-size candy bars, because it's not
I'm so
like
confused
it's hundreds of
because
children.
it's not like you live out in the boonies.
No,
you live in the middle of town.
I think it's because I live in the middle of a block. And like
Still.
nobody else seems to have their porch lights on our block. So
they look and
when
they go,
people
that
look
one house.
down, they probably don't really see everything.
Sure.
Because also with like how the yards are, like if you're looking down from one side of the road, there's shrubs blocking my front yard, so you can't see all the jack-o'-lanterns that we've got. But yeah.
We get quite a few trick-or-treaters, but the thing I don't understand, and maybe somebody can educate me on this, maybe you can educate me on this, is when we were kids, I feel, maybe you had a different experience, we would walk all around the blocks and do trick-or-treating. There are kids that, like, their parents have the minivan, and they'll pull up to the front, and the kids jump out of the minivan, the open door, and they run up to the house, and they get the stuff. Maybe they go to the neighbor, and then they get back in the minivan, they go down like another 2 doors, and they get out.
Oh.
Instead of walking, I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Interesting. No, we used
Maybe
to
the parents don't want to walk.
We used to like get some rides to like, but then we'd like walk a 4-block radius kind of thing.
Did you have a good neighborhood in your town that you're like, oh, we know to go there?
Yeah, we had like there was like, that's the good trick or treat neighborhood.
Okay.
Yep. But yeah, we did like our neighborhood, and then we'd go over to where my grandparents lived and went and did that neighborhood because we knew a lot of the people that lived over there too. And then we'd make sure to stop at any other, like my aunt and uncle also lived in the same town, so we'd go stop and trick or treat over. So, and where that was in town, there was kind of like opposite ends of town, so we'd drive to each of those 3 places and get out and do our thing. But yeah,
James,
it's
what about
fun.
you? What was your trick-or-treating like as a kid?
It was get out and walk the neighborhood. And if we were done early enough, it was drive over to a friend's neighborhood where we were going to spend time with them afterwards and then walk their neighborhood.
Oh, very fun.
Did you guys hand out good candy at your house?
I think so, because usually my mom or dad wanted the leftover candy that we had, so usually it worked out pretty well. But we had a lot of kids in my neighborhood, so there was a lot of candy. So it feels very similar to what we have now, barring another snowstorm.
Gotcha.
I think trick-or-treating's so fun, and we get to kind of like relive our childhood when we do go and experience Oogie Boogie Bash and get to like, it's like socially acceptable for adults to be trick-or-treating at Oogie Boogie Bash in costume even. I want to like, can we bring that back just for it to be a society norm? I want to just go, like, I think it'd be so fun to go trick-or-treating at my friend's house. I don't know if I'd go knock on random neighbors' doors. I think maybe that would be not okay.
I see parents bring their kids around, and if the parents are costumed up, I'll give them candy.
Heck yeah. Oh, I give them candy anyways.
All right, James, sorry.
They deserve it. That's okay. You are just getting in the mood because, of course, all of my questions this week are related to Halloween at Disneyland.
Uh-oh.
It just makes sense, right?
Sure.
So we'll embrace the season. So my first question for you is, when did Jack Skellington and company start taking over the Haunted Mansion?
2000.
This sticks in my mind because I'm pretty sure it's
No.
2001.
I also think it was 2000. Yes, because 97 was It's a Small World holiday. That's where I was getting my wires crossed. So yeah, 2001.
Okay. Yeah, I was working through. I'm like, that's a 4-year difference. I don't know how you're putting that because, okay. Just had to slowly get there. All right. Got you both down for 2001. Second question. The Halloween event, party, whatever you want to call it, at Disneyland and DCA has gone through 4 different names since it opened in 1995. Can you tell me all of them?
I feel like we've been asked this before.
What is, okay, so we got Oogie Boogie Bash.
Oogie Boogie Bash.
Wasn't it like Mickey's Trick or Treat?
That sounds right.
Was it just like Mickey's Halloween Party?
That could be it too. Because the one in Disney World is what? Mickey's
Not so scary.
Not So Scary. So we're missing a fourth one. Since 1990.
And then it's like,
Six?
there was something.
Is that what you said?
So, yeah, it opened 1995, 96.
Okay.
And
it's had 4 different names.
Since
basically.
then. Yep.
Yeah, okay. And it was in Disneyland until Oogie Boogie Bash, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
It did jump across to DCA for a little bit in between there as well.
Well, don't listen to me. I don't know.
That's because you're like all in on Oogie Boogie Bash.
all Oogie Boogie Bash all the time. That's the only Halloween After Hours event that I ever have
Me too.
participated in. And then there was something weird, like it's either like it was something off of Mickey's Trick or Treat, like it was either just like Mickey's Trick or Mickey's Treat. Like it was kind of in a shorter version. It didn't quite it didn't flow as well.
I don't know.
I'm just gonna put with I don't know.
You can do 3 out of 4. It's okay.
Yeah, I thought there was something weird with it was like Mickey's Trick, which now that I'm saying that out loud doesn't really make sense.
Well, we'll get the answer.
We'll
after
get the
discussion.
answer.
All right.
That's my line. Third question. Costume question.
Okay.
Not cast members. How would you describe the costumes that Mickey and friends are wearing this year?
Currently?
Yes. Note for you, they're mostly in couples, so I'm looking for kind of the generic description of they're dressed up like...
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say, because I think the whole theme is they're supposed to look handmade.
Mm-hmm.
Mickey is a skeleton this year. Minnie's a witch.
I feel like Minnie's always a witch.
Not always. Sometimes maybe something else.
What are Chippendale? I feel like I should know Chippendale, and I just don't.
I should know all of these, and I'm blanking because all I'm thinking about is other previous years, I'm thinking like Goofy's been a tree, Goofy's been a scarecrow, Goofy's been.
Was this year the one where like his hat was like see through? Mickey's like top hat was see through. Wasn't that part of like the costume this year?
I don't know. He's a skeleton. I don't think he has a hat.
The problem is, when we were talking about the tea and stuff, I saw the concept art for their holiday outfits, and that's all I can think about right now for some reason. When you tell us the answer, James, we're going to be like, oh, of course.
Of course you will. Yeah. Some of them are harder to be like, oh, that's what they are. Mostly Minnie.
So maybe not a witch.
Minnie, I am basically accepting whatever you give me. I will be very honest.
Minnie is open to interpretation.
Yeah, very much so.
Okay, Goofy. This is terrible. I'm only thinking of previous Goofy costumes, and I cannot remember current. Same thing with like Clarabelle. I can't remember what her current thing is, but I'm like very vividly remembering her spider bell that she had.
That's because we talked to the guy about it. I thought that was this year, too. I thought it was always every year.
No, she gets a new bell each year. I think this year is like a candy corn, though. So I think she's maybe like a scarecrow.
Oh, that's a good one. You had to pick hard ones, James.
Of course.
I wonder if we would have done better if we would have had this question before we saw the
They look
Christmas.
like they're kind of like quilted.
Yeah,
like
I can see parts of it.
But I can't. I feel like we're failing our new friend that we met from Disney Live Entertainment that we spent way too much time chatting about character costumes and
I think you ended
costumes
up
in
being on
general.
an Instagram post for them too later.
Oh, did he?
I think I've seen it
That's
recently.
fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we have to move on.
The
Yeah.
challenge is, it's seasonal. It's once a year, and you see new ones every
Well, they
year.
never
so it's-
used to change it every year, but our friend
You know what's terrible?
said that they change them every year.
Why are you not wearing that today? Your Halloween Disneyland shirt. They would all be in their costumes on your t-shirt, and we would have...
I was going to wear
would
it
have a
today,
resource.
actually, because it's going to be the last time I can... unless... I'll probably wear it for Halloween
You'll probably wear it
night.
for
but
trick-or-treating.
But yeah, I'm thinking like Goofy. I'm like, he was a tree. I love the tree costume. That one is like one of my favorite Goofy costumes. He was a scarecrow. I also really adore the skeleton where he's got the bone in his hat.
So, this is the one where he was the tree, and Donald was the candy corn.
Yeah, and then
Mickey
we
was
have the lovely
pumpkin.
candy corn Donald Sipper that came out.
That's right. Anyway,
They're so fun.
I think we've hit what we know.
I think we've got
we're
what you know.
failing at this year.
All right, final question for you. Not about this year, but 5 years ago when there was the inaugural Oogie Boogie Bash, as far as I could tell in my research, there were 5 treat trails.
Ooh.
What characters were in the treat trails?
I got this.
Oh, okay. Great. I will save my hint for later then.
There was 5 treat trails, and you want us to name the 5 treat trails?
Yeah, I want to know the characters that you can meet.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go
feel
first
like I'm
because
cheating.
I didn't go.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing it's a lot of like the classics. So I feel like the Evil Queen was probably there. Maleficent was probably a trail. Dr. Facilier was probably a trail then too. We're going for 5.
Mm-hmm.
Oogie Boogie, of course, was a treat trail. And then I want to say it's all villains though, isn't it? I don't think there was an Ursula. I feel like I'm missing something very obvious. I got 4. That's good.
You did get 4. That was good. So Sid has been there since
the beginning.
Since the beginning. Sid is one of the OGs. You also had...
It wasn't the good Sid this year, by the way.
So we had Sid. We had Evil... You're right, with Evil Queen and
Mm-hmm.
with Maleficent. Oogie Boogie, of course. But then there was also the Mad Hatter.
Oh, yes.
Dr. Facilier. And Cruella was also there.
I thought you said there was just 5.
I went above and beyond.
There are 5 treat trails.
Oh, there you go.
Question is, were all those characters on treat trails?
I don't know.
That's true. Maybe the Evil Queen was not. For sure, Dr. Facilier was, because that one was interesting because it was inside. Like you went into a building. One of that was now the Avengers Campus one, and his set thing was really, really cool.
All right, here's my hint to you to make this even more complicated for you. Based on my reading, one or more of the treat trails just had oversized cauldrons of candy and not a featured character.
Oh, yep.
Does that change your answer?
No, because they all have cauldrons. the ones with the characters and without the characters. Maybe Evil Queen wasn't there the first year. Maleficent was.
Well, we'll find out at some point.
We will.
Yeah, after the discussion topic, so please come back to get my spooky answers.
Well, for this week's discussion, we finish our chat with Scott, the Disneyland nurse.
As somebody who's so knowledgeable about things Disneyland, much like we are, I think it'd be interesting to kind of talk to you a little bit just about like your opinions of some things, because there is a lot
There's
happening
been a lot of news recently.
and changing at the parks. And it'd be cool to get like a different opinion other than ours, which you may agree with us, who knows, about some of the things. So I'm going to start with my hot button issue, and I'm just curious. Lightning Lane in general, and then Lightning Lane Premier Pass is the newest thing. What are your thoughts on these things?
No, I think we have pretty similar views. We all miss the old Fast Pass days where it was walk up to the kiosk, grab your ticket, and ride for free. When they went to Genie Plus, it was just, for me, it felt like a money grab, just easy money for them. They just build this system where you can pay $30 and get on the rides faster. It was awesome when we had the Max Pass?
Yeah,
where we could add. It was like what, $100 for the whole year to add on to your annual pass. That was incredible. But gone are those days. Unfortunately, I personally don't use lightning lanes unless I'm with people that don't go to the parks frequently.
Sure.
And even so, I don't think that Lightning Lane is as effective as it should be.
Yeah.
You're not, unless you're going at rope drop and you're there from park open to park closed, you may get your money's worth. But if you're coming later in the day, say midday, I don't think the $30-$40 is worth it. And then I don't know if you're going to be talking in your discussion topic today about, Premier Pass.
We sure are.
It just my mind was like, it melted when I heard or saw that it was going to be $400. Like, I think I agree with you guys. If they were going to do Lightning Lane, they should have done it this way from the beginning, where it was so expensive that so few people would buy it that it wouldn't cause the standby queues to slow down like they have today. Because I don't think it's fair for a guest to spend $200 and then have to wait. You're going to let 20 Lightning Lane people buy when only 20 to 1. It's just, it's not fair in my opinion. It just seems like a money grab for me.
So what are your thoughts though? Because I'm trying to be hopeful. You know me, always looking for the silver lining. I'm like, maybe this means the original, the whatever it's called, the multi-lane.
Multi-experience.
They change the name so often I get confused as to what it is. The multi-pass. I'm almost wondering if maybe eventually they don't phase that out and this is the new Lightning Lane experience. That could be wishful Teresa thinking, but I'm like, maybe.
It could be, but I did see somebody post, it was like a reel, they were saying that they think that they did this to make the $32 Lightning Lane look like a great value. Like,
sure.
Oh, like, wow, it's only $32. Let me buy it. So they did it just to get more people, to suck more people into buying it, which could be too. But for Disney, it's like easy money. Like, they don't have to they didn't build anything. It's just click a button, spend $400. Like, it's free money for them.
Mm-hmm.
Something came up on our Hangout or stream this weekend that there was a thought that maybe it was to try to ease demand on the VIP tours.
That's the only way that financially it would make sense to buy the Lightning Lane Premier Pass.
Because you're getting basically what people, I would say, I disagree with this opinion of like why you would book a VIP tour, but I feel like a lot of people book a VIP tour because they're like, I don't have to think about anything. This person just leads us around and gets us on everything. And most people, I think, try to maximize attractions when they're with a tour guide. And so if you could pay $400 a person for a party of 4, which would $1,600 instead of $4,000, whatever, and you get to basically walk up and get on something, that's a better deal. And it's better for Disney.
But the thing is with the VIP tours, the lowest cost VIP tour is currently, because I looked it up, is $3,500, and you can have 10 people on the tour. So if you divide that by 10, it's only $350. So that's cheaper than this Premier Pass.
Right.
Yeah, but what days are the $3,500 days though? Like, that's the other thing.
So it's in, like, I did it when it was the lowest price, and those times were in like late January. So they're very few and far between. So my thought is maybe they're actually going to be increasing the price of VIP tours moving forward.
That could be. That is something that I have noticed, just like in the time that we've been doing the podcast, how more frequently it feels you see the VIP tour guides with their groups, with their families. Easily, even if you're not looking for them, I'd say you see probably 10 a day each time that you're in the parks. It's kind of wild when you think about what that price tag is that's walking past you that many times, So,
I mean, you guys recently mentioned about the new VIP tour merchandise. So, I mean, they're doing stuff to, I think, increase VIP revenue for sure.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
Let's talk about something fun that you'll be able to experience for Nurses Day, because it's opening soon. What are your thoughts on Country Bear Barbecue Jamboree?
Oh, anything's got to be better than Hungry Bear. I mean, Hungry Bear is probably one of my least favorite places to eat. I was never a big fan of their burgers. They had a specialty onion ring, I think, dish a few years ago, which was good, but Hungry Bear would have been like one of the last places on my list to eat in general. So from what I see, on the Disney Parks blog posts, the food looks awesome. I mean, I'm a big barbecue fan, so I'm excited to give it a try. I think when Tiana's Palace took over French Market, I think that food elevated tremendously.
Oh, yeah.
So hopefully that this is kind of in the same vein, that the food quality goes up. And I'm looking forward to it. I'll definitely try it.
Yeah.
Is there a good burger in the resort that's not at like a fancy restaurant?
You had a really good one at, what was it, the Craftsman Grill. I don't know if that counts because it's at one of the hotels.
I'm talking about like in the theme parks.
In the parks?
Yeah.
I think Smoke Jumpers has some good specialty burgers on occasions, but a burger at Disneyland is not my number one choice.
I feel like every time I've seen, like, I'm not a huge burger person to begin with, but the burgers I've seen in the park, I'm always kind of like, no, I don't want that. Because there's so many other good options, right?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
But I see people all the time buying burgers, even at the Hungry Bear. But what's great about the Hungry Bear area, the biggest strength of that location is just the massive amount of seating.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. You can always find a seat for sure.
Which, like, no other restaurant in the resort has that amount of seating.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we've never had a trouble finding a seat.
And the thing that I like about it, too, is, well, A, that not very many people know about it, so there's always plenty of seats. But if you're on that second level and you're kind of towards the back, the view out over the rivers of America is just so fun. And you're, like, sandwiched between the train going by and the Mark Twain. It is awesome. It's cool.
Definitely. I agree there.
Okay, where's your favorite place in the park? Since we're talking about a cool place like Hungry Bear, do you have a favorite place in the park?
My favorite place is kind of hidden. It's the area over by, formerly known as Splash Mountain. I can't think of where the sailing ship Columbia docks.
Oh, Harbor.
Yeah. The little, the secret path area.
Yeah, secret path. There's some tables right there. And
yep.
I always love just, listening to the screams from everybody coming down Splash Mountain. And yeah, it's always quiet. But because I'm a DVC member, I think one of my new favorite places is the new lounge that they have at the launch bay. It's peaceful. You can go outside on the balcony and you can overlook Tomorrowland. So that's probably one of my new favorite places.
It's cool. We went in there. Actually, that was part of our VIP tour day. We went in there and it was right after it had opened.
Yeah.
It's nice up there though. It's like quiet. It's a good place to just like recharge your own batteries as well as like your phone batteries.
Yeah. You get unlimited drinks.
Cool.
Unlimited drinks and snacks. So yeah, you can't beat that.
That is pretty
Always good. Let's end on a high note of things that have been recent in the news. What are your thoughts on the little teaser from Disney Parks that they posted last week with a very familiar truck?
I am very excited about the return of Paint the Night. It's probably my favorite Disneyland parade. I kind of hope it comes back to Disneyland, though. I think it was wonderful there, and it would be a perfect tie-in with the 70th anniversary coming up next year. So yeah, I am all for it. Hopefully they keep giving us these teasers for next year's big celebration.
Yeah, I hope so too. I feel like I can share this publicly now. It was kind of a weird thing to share before, but Tag and I, during D23, when we were coming back, it was actually the Parks panel night. We were sitting on the bus because we took the little shuttle buses to and from, and he was sitting at the window, and I was talking to him about, I don't even know what, because I got myself so distracted. We went past a nondescript warehouse, and there was a giant door that was open. And I stopped mid-sentence. And I just looked at Tag. I said, you need to look up what the Incredibles float from Paint the Night looked like. And he's like, what? Why? I saw it.
Well, she didn't tell me that.
Yeah.
She said, just look it up.
Just look it up. Because I'm like still trying to stare into the thing. And yeah, so I was like, I think this means, like, why is this at the front of the warehouse if it's just not coming back? So we were really hopeful because of my random just happened to look at the right place at the right time on our bus ride. And then, of course, it was the Parks panel night. So I was like, this could have been something they could have announced.
Well, that's a question I was just going to ask you, which is, like, what did you think of this year's D23 and kind of... two questions. What did you think just kind of overall? Did you go to D23?
Yes, we saw him.
Yeah, right. we saw you there.
We saw a lot of people at D23 in fairness. But
it was a blur.
Like, what was your thought overall of the event? Because you've been in the past too, right?
I went 2 years, or when was the last one? It was
22.
22?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was my first one. So this was my second one. I thought this one was much better. It was so much more organized this time around. I thought going over to the Honda Center was incredible. It was very efficient.
Yeah.
We actually had a rental car, so we were able to, park there, but there was no traffic, coming and going. It was just, that part was awesome. The panel, I went to the first two panels. I didn't go the third night. So we did the entertainment panel and then the parks panel. I thought the panels themselves were great, were wonderful. The information was awesome. But when it comes to the parks panels, they say all these things, but I'm the type of person who's like, I take everything with a grain of salt with Disney because they've announced so many things that haven't come to fruition. So even though Josh D'Amaro says we have shovels in the ground, dirt is moving, it's not really.
Right,
I mean, they may be working on it, but who knows how their budgets will change in the future. And I don't know if you guys saw today, they announced that they're going to be announcing a successor to Bob Iger in 2026. So who knows what that person will, what kind of budgets they'll run with. So
very true.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, I like the joke. We've been to this was our third D23, and each time we've been very fortunate that we've been able to go to the parks panel, but each time we have gotten the announcement of the new Avengers e-ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they keep changing what it's going to be. So we'll see how that goes. I was pretty surprised this last time though that it wasn't just the e-ticket, that they were also going to put that, I don't even remember what it was called, that Tony Stark
Flight Lab.
Yep. The Flight Lab thing in there too.
Yeah,
I'm really intrigued by that attraction.
It doesn't seem like your typical Disney attraction.
No, but it seems like one of the things I really enjoyed at Universal was the Forbidden Journey, which is the big Harry Potter one. It's in the castle, and it uses that same technology. So I'm like, this is interesting. It seems like it may be light on theming, and that's the thing that I'm curious about. Is like, how are they going to make it into something kind of themed, and not just you're just basically getting thrown around on an arm,
right?
And saying that it's a Stark thing. So I'm really intrigued. I'm actually kind of excited about it because, like I said, I like that at Harry Potter. And then the e-ticket, who knows what we're eventually going to get for this e-ticket? Because this is like the third ride system, the third storyline.
Yeah. We'll see what happens when it happens.
We'll see it when it opens.
Yeah. But I think we can all agree that Avengers Campus needs some love. So
yeah,
hopefully that'll be coming soon.
Do you think the red car trolley is going away?
Not permanently. I think it'll come back.
I hope so.
How about what about where's this Coco ride gonna go? I used to do these like kind of Imagineering things where I threw out wild things, and I always thought that the Coco ride would be great where the Little Mermaid is.
Oh yeah.
So I got really nerdy about this one. Like went on to Google Maps.
She has thoughts
and was like taking and measuring show buildings to figure out like how big. Okay, so Indiana Jones, what's the footprint for that show building, and where could you put something, or like Pirates, where could you then plop that over in DCA? And I was surprised that you could do it on Pixar Pier, which was, I know, one of the rumored spaces that it was going to go was where, what is it, that little band shell thing?
Yeah.
Next to the Pixar Pier games are.
Yeah, between the games and Bing Bongs.
Yep, you could do an entrance there, and behind there would be enough space for a show building. I don't know how you do your queue. But the most recent rumor we heard, which I'm hopeful for because I think it'd bring a little bit more life, is if it goes into Hollywoodland. Use one of the buildings back there. And because I just think, right, if Pandora's coming, it, to me, doesn't make sense there. It would make more sense in like one of the future expansion pads kind of past the park, because I just can't imagine walking down the street and see the Guardians Mission Breakout Tower on one side in front of me and then like seeing Pandora on the other side. But that's just me.
I agree.
Plus, then that would just breathe a little bit more life and monsters would get a little bit more love. That's a dead corner of the park. It needs more stuff.
I think that they should put Coco. I like this location, don't get me wrong, but I think it would fit well is get rid of the Boardwalk Pizza and Pasta that I don't think I've ever seen a great demand for. It seems like nobody's ever in there, and yet it's open all the time. I have no idea. There's other things that have great demand that like aren't open all the time, like the little window at the end that has all the really good like whatever food all the time. Anyway, they could put it there because they already have like the cocoa, like they put all the cocoa stuff there anyway. Why not put the attraction there? And then I know that's another great place in the park for dining and seating, but that would be a good area for like a queue and stuff too.
So I actually imagineered that Boardwalk Pizza and Pasta to, I don't know if you remember the movie Onward, the Pixar movie Onward, to be the Manticore's Tavern, where it could be like a character dining.
That's cool.
Like, I think we need more character dining. Do we have any character dining in DCA? No, we don't.
No.
We used to have
just
Ariel's Grotto.
The princess,
right?
yeah.
And then it's just the Grand Californian for the princess breakfast.
Yeah, I think a character dining restaurant in DCA would be cool.
Why do they not have more character dining? It's like super popular.
Huh?
Disney loves printing money. Why would they not? We were
and
just
the Manticore that would work perfectly with the Pixar theme.
We were just talking about why have they not done the super low hanging fruit and cleaned up the kitchen from the Rainforest Cafe and turned the rest of the trading post into a Star Wars restaurant.
Yeah, that, or I think I wanted that one to become the Encanto house, like the magical house from Encanto, and have like South American foods to be served there too. I think that would be a good location. But yeah, Star Wars themed, a character dining, or even just a restaurant would be awesome there.
If they did something like kind of like if you took the Star Cruiser and just like made it into a like evening dining experience, and so you could have reserved seating times and have some sort of show in with your dining rotation. That would be so cool.
Be so popular.
Yeah.
Teresa, now you've got me back on a whole other thing I was thinking about earlier and forgot about, which was okay. You went to the Star Cruiser.
Yeah.
I did.
I know this is not Disneyland, but like what was that experience like? Because I've seen videos online and like, but I don't know. For somebody who experienced it, like what was like the best thing about it, and like could you see after experiencing it like why it was not ultimately successful?
It wasn't ultimately successful because of how much it cost. I think it was like $6,500 for 2 nights.
Yeah.
So it was very price prohibitive, and then I'm sure they probably had to spend a tremendous amount of money paying those cast members all the gourmet food that they were serving. I just think it was kind of it wasn't making them money, is why they closed it. But I went on the second sailing that it had in early March when it opened, and we had an incredible time. That experience was not like anything that I had ever been on through a Disney park. The amount of immersion that they put you through is just incredible. You really do feel like you're part of a Star Wars story. And I think that the criticism that it received was unjust. A lot of people were criticizing it before it even opened to the public because of Disney really didn't do a great job marketing the whole thing. They didn't do it justice, but when going there and experiencing it, it was awesome. I would have done it again if I had the chance, and I don't think they'll ever do something like that again just because of how it ended, but I'm glad I did it.
Did it feel awkward? Like, I'm trying to think, like I don't want to like get it. Like I play Dungeons and Dragons, but I don't like do the character part of it where I'm like, I come up with a different voice and all of that stuff or whatever. Like, did it feel like, would somebody like me feel awkward there, or would I still have a good time?
It's hard to say. I think definitely like dressing up and you play a part in your own story makes the experience that much better. But I think there were things that even if you didn't dress up, if you didn't participate in some of the things, you would have had a good time still. Like the food was absolutely incredible. The entertainment was top notch. The theming in the rooms was awesome. You really felt like you were out in space. So I think the concept was amazing. Imagineering really did a good job. I think for somebody like you, because you are a big Star, or I'm sorry, well, you are a big Star Wars
I am.
person, right?
Yep.
And you're a big Disney person. You could have really appreciated what Imagineering put into this, and I think you would have had a great time regardless.
See, and I was like you, Tag. I'm like, I don't know if I could, when they were first talking about it, and they're like, oh yeah, you get to create your own character and like be a part of this story. I'm like, I'm more of like someone that likes watching that kind of stuff, but watching videos from folks like Ordinary Adventures, it didn't look awkward to me. It just looked kind of like character meet and greets on steroids. Yeah. Like, it's just fun and casual. You didn't have to like create a persona if you didn't want to, and like your missions and stuff that you could do were on your, what they call them, like data pads, or your phones, basically. So it wasn't like it wasn't like live action role playing necessarily. You could do that for sure.
Also, the cast members that worked on the Star Cruiser were like top notch, like probably some of the best cast members that that you would have been around. They were just so attentive. They played the parts very well. They didn't make you feel uncomfortable. So yeah, it was a great experience. Sad that it's gone.
All the stuff I see from it, like there's so many things that were part of that experience that I hope they integrate into other things, because like it's not that those individual things failed. It's just, I think it was a lot of different like little things that kind of came together. I think one thing is like it's hard for people to get over is it was kind of like a cruise experience. Like you're buying 2 days in this thing, and even though you're still on land, you're basically going to be not trapped, but like the idea is that you're going to be on this ship. Mm-hmm. And I think it's hard for people, like when you're on a cruise, it's easy. You're in the middle of the ocean. Like, of course you're not going anywhere else, but you're in a hotel. And I think people it was hard for some people to think like, I don't have the freedom to go to the Magic Kingdom after everything is done at the end of the night, or whatever I wanted. I think there was some of those things were challenging for folks, and the price, and that type of stuff.
The thing is, like on a cruise, I imagine they had so many things going on in different places that you never felt like there was downtime. There was always something to do. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was just not for everybody, but hopefully, like you said, they can integrate some of it in other aspects of the parks, when we moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe like in Galaxy's Edge, even just maybe put your dining experience in Galaxy's Edge, or, maybe have some of those characters kind of come to life in Galaxy's Edge with more of the interactions. Yeah, I mean, you've got some of the stuff with the bounty hunter where you can kind of be a little bit a part of the story, but not quite what they first had said.
I just hope they use that physical space for something Star Wars, because like it's there, it's built.
Yeah,
it's cool.
It was supposed to be like this big interactive thing, but like you could still make it like a Star Wars hotel, like
for sure.
People could still dine there, and you could charge them to dine there. You can have people play on the bridge or do some of the cool like training stuff. Like those could all be experiences that are part of it that are not, that doesn't. You don't have like a limitation of like you have to be there 2 days or whatever. You also don't have the thing where it's all part of a story necessarily. Like I think that they could still salvage some stuff from it, and I hope they do, because I'm sure they spent a lot of money building that, and like it's basically a hotel. Why not just use it as a hotel? People would pay to stay there.
That's the thing, you really felt like Disney did not. They spent their money on this, like how some things feel like they the budget is cut.
Yeah.
This experience didn't feel like that. It felt like it was top notch in every experience or every way. Like Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland and Disney World, they cut the budget for some of the things that they were supposed to have. So you can kind of feel that like it's missing, some kinetic energy where they were supposed to have that. I don't know what they were, the animals that were supposed to go around and whatnot. So you kind of feel that the budget was cut in some areas there, but the Star Cruiser, you felt like they really spent the money to make it you felt like you got your money's worth. What I want to say.
That's awesome. That makes it even more tragic that it failed, because they really went out on a limb and spared no expense.
Every time Disney
everything
does
that
this.
us Disney fan want, like all the Disney fans want, and then it didn't work, so now they're going to be a little hesitant, I'm sure.
And every time Disney does this, they did this with Euro Disneyland. Like they had like I mean, they did obviously have a budget, but it feels like they didn't really have a budget when they built Euro Disneyland, and then it just was received poorly. And then so for the next like decade, they didn't want to spend money on anything. And then so the Star Cruisers like that, it's like they could make a really cool experience, but now they're probably like gun shy about it until like the next thing comes 20 years from now or whatever.
Well, and I think that's why a lot of people love Tokyo Disneyland and Disney Sea because, you know, it's not owned by Disney. It's the Oriental Land Company. So they have money to spend, and you feel that like they really care about bringing that top-notch experience to their guests. So we just need more of that here in Disneyland and Disney World, I would say.
I think it'd be so cool. I actually said this. There was a question in our Hub Crawl chat that somebody said, like, what? Actually, this is a great question for you. Actually, for both of you. The question was, if somebody came up to you and said, you cannot step foot on Disney-owned theme park property for the rest of your life, and I have a check, and I'll make it out to whatever amount that it needs to be for you to do that, how much money would I have to write it to you? And I said $10 billion, because that would allow me to make enough money that I could license the stuff and build
my own.
the Disneyland of my dreams in the Midwest, like Tokyo Disneyland, because the question was it can't be like a Disney-owned thing, but if I owned it and I licensed it, I could get around that. And $10 billion would be enough to do that and make it really great. So what, do you have a number? Either of you?
I don't know if I do.
Repeat the question again.
The question is, if somebody came up to you and they had a blank check and they said, I have enough money to afford whatever number you spit at me, and I'm going to pay you, but the condition of you getting all this money is that you can't step foot on Disney property, like theme park property, for the rest of your life, how much money would they have to pay you? He's like, well, it's complicated because I have Nurses Day at the park now, and that would be really weird. I'd be letting a lot of people down.
I mean,
but think of how many nurses you could put through school with money.
There you go. Yeah, I don't have a specific number, but I think maybe a billion. I don't know. Let's say.
I like your loophole tag of asking for enough money that I could build my own Disney park.
Well, it was funny because I said a better Disneyland,
the rule.
And then everybody was like, what does that mean? And I said, well, you know how like Disneyland, like because they've built it over time, there's a lot of like weird things, or like it'd be nice to have like wider walkways or just like newer facility, you know, just it would be better because it's newer and you could like think through some things better. But like I'd bring all the stuff that I like, you know, I'd have the Haunted Mansion and Pirates and, you know, Indiana Jones, and, you know, I'd have all the stuff, but I'd try to like make it better. Like Winnie the Pooh, like I would build Winnie the Pooh, but I would like update the story or something. Because like I know James would murder me if I didn't have a Winnie the Pooh attraction. But those type of things. Think about it.
You could already have your new dragon for Fantasmic if you.
I also probably, everybody's going to come at me when I say this, I would also probably have the castle from Disneyland Paris and not Sleeping Beauty Castle as my
It's
centerpiece.
your park. You can do whatever you want.
Just saying. So what are you most excited for Tokyo since you're going to go? I'm sure you've done lots of planning and thoughts.
Oh, gosh. It's so darn overwhelming. Just, you know, thinking about the travel and, you know, I haven't ever been to Japan, so that part is even overwhelming, just getting there and learning all this. But I'd say the most exciting part of it is probably going to Tokyo Disney Sea. I've just heard absolutely incredible things about that theme park, and just seeing what the differences are between, you know, our Disneyland here and Disney there. So that's probably what I'm most excited. But and then also just experiencing the culture of Japan is exciting to me too.
I would be really excited for just the guests, because the guests there are supposed to be like super polite and like unlike American parks. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How many days is Star Wars Celebration there? Is it 3?
It's 3 days. Yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But we're just going for one day because we want to experience the Disney parks, and then we're also going to be traveling to another part of Japan as well. So kind of spreading things out.
How long are you going to be in Japan total?
11 days.
That's cool.
That'll be so awesome.
I feel like that's like that would not be enough time, because I feel like there's so much.
I don't think there's ever
enough
time.
No, it's definitely not going to be enough time. But we'll get our feet wet, and then if we love it, we'll make another trip at a different point. But yeah,
I'm jealous of your trip because I think that's going to be a lot of fun. The only thing I'll say about Tokyo Disney Sea is I feel like so many people have talked it up so much that like I'm concerned.
You're nervous to go.
That I'm gonna go and be like, I don't get it, like because like the bar will in my mind be so high that maybe it's not even like attainable.
I'm sure it's amazing. Every
taper my
photo, video, all that looks just.
It does look cool.
Like
I'm a little nervous because we are so familiar with the Disneyland app and how things function at Disneyland. Like it's going to be like, how do I get a fast pass? How do I mobile order? Do I mobile order? I have been I've been watching the Ordinary Adventures videos when they went to Japan last year, and they're tremendously helpful. So
have you checked out TDR Explorer?
TDR Explorer,
yes.
Yeah, he's also a great resource.
I know if when I go to Japan, I'm gonna be. He's going to be the one I'm like following. Like, what do I need to do?
Yeah.
We've got some friends that have used the guides that he's created to kind of help with the planning process too.
Okay.
I didn't know. Did you know that they have like vacation packages there that include like the tickets and your hotel and like meals and all sorts of stuff? I've learned so much stuff. Thank you,
that's
YouTube.
like one of the only ways to get into the new Fantasy Springs area is by getting this vacation package. And did you know that the Disney hotels there in Tokyo, you can only start booking them 4 months in advance of your trip. So that's pretty nerve-wracking. Like, and I mean, obviously it's going to be a super busy time in Tokyo with the Star Wars celebration. So I'm a little like, you got to be on the ball. It's like getting that virtual queue at 7 a.m.
But yeah, except it's your bed for the night.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be
best of luck with all of that planning, and you're going to be trying to tackle all that while you're coming up on 2025's Nurses Day.
Yeah.
Whew, you're going to earn that vacation.
That's right.
Man, that sounds like a lot.
Scott, is there anything that we maybe didn't get to talk about, either with your Instagram page, with Nurses Day, anything in general that we didn't cover that you would like to chat about?
The only thing I would mention is that I do have a website for Nurses Day. It's just nursesdayatthepark.com. So if you go to that site, it'll have all the information about next year's Nurses Day. I do have, if you're interested in coming to Nurses Day next year, we're going to have the ears for sale starting on November 1st. She's been doing kind of like every first of the month, she has a drop of ears. So go onto her Etsy page. You can find her Instagram at Isn't It Neat Boutique, and then you'll find her Etsy page if you're interested in ears. If you're wanting to buy a shirt for next year's Nurses Day, you can message me on Instagram, either at the Nurses Day page or through Disneyland Nurse, and I'll get back to you. Yeah, that's about it. I will have the schedule of events for Nurses Day probably sometime in March, because like we talked about, Disney won't know their full schedule until closer to the event. But yeah, I just want to say thank you guys for having me on the podcast.
Of course.
I also want to congratulate you on your 7-year anniversary.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I've been listening to you guys for 7 years, and I'm thankful that you guys had me on today.
Of course.
We've been wanting to have you on, I think, for a while. So I'm glad that we could all make it happen.
It was perfect because we bumped into you at D23. I'm like, wait a minute. We just need to do this. Why have we not done this? We just got to get it on the calendar because, of course, I always have the idea after the event. And then it's like, well, for those people that are interested in joining and going to Nurses Day, is there a sign up, or how do they kind of register for it?
Yeah, absolutely. There's on that same webpage, on my webpage, there's a registration form, and then there is a link on the Nurses Day at the Park Instagram. You can put like links at the top of the page. One of those links will have the registration form to the day. Perfect. So that's a good way to notify us that you'll be attending, and we can kind of gauge how many goodie bags that we'll need to prepare for next year. So I also want to give a special, for anybody who has attended Nurses Day in the past, I want to say thank you to people who have donated to the event, because with their donations, we actually buy gift cards to Starbucks, and during that day, we go to the nurses station at Disneyland and we we give these gift cards to the nurses that work at Disneyland and DCA, just as a way of saying thank you for all you do, because they kind of work behind the scenes and their role is just as important as anybody else's. So it's our way of giving back to them. So
that's awesome.
That is amazing.
Yeah. And everyone, don't worry. We have all of these links will be listed in the show notes.
Yep.
So you don't have to be trying to quickly get them down. But we've got all of the links for the ears, for Nurses Day at the Park, and for Scott's page, the Disneyland Nurse. We will have all of those linked for you to check out. And yeah, if you are interested, make sure you sign up, because the other thing too is they have to know how many people are going to be there. So Disney can know how many people they need to be expecting as well. Wonderful.
Right. All right, Scott, since we've gotten finally to the end here, the last question we have for you, and I hope we don't already know the answer from your handle or anything like that, but if you could do anything if you could work at Disneyland and do anything, sky's the limit, could be a made-up job, real job, what would you do?
I think I'd actually take Bob Iger's position.
Ooh.
I would want to, I feel like they need to do a better job of listening to what the people want instead of just constantly raising prices, cutting budgets. I think it's important that we listen to what the people want. And I think being the CEO of Disney would be an extremely stressful job with a lot of pressure, but I think that's something that I could handle.
I think it'd be a very rewarding job too.
Absolutely. You're helping create lifelong memories. So
yeah.
You think it'd be more stressful than a nurse who literally you have people's lives in your hand?
That's true.
Like if you're the CEO of Disney, it's not like a life or death situation. It's just, it can be, I guess, if you make terrible decisions and somebody gets hurt in the park. But I just mean like you literally are saving people's lives.
That's true.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Nursing is a very rewarding profession, and I've been doing it for 13 years and, don't plan to do anything else. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Incredible. Well, Scott, thank you so much for your time this evening. We're putting all of the positive energy out into the universe because you will be at Disneyland tomorrow and hopefully experiencing Tiana's Bayou adventure.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time, because I'm sure you have to pack and all that fun stuff before your trip, so we really appreciate it.
All right. Well, thanks for having me again, guys. Hope you have a good night.
Well, the holidays are quickly approaching, and we'll be sending out postcards again this year to everyone at the $3 or higher level. If you are currently a supporter on Patreon, please log in and make sure that your address is up to date so that you get your card. It is really terrible when we mail these out and then we get a bunch back because they say undeliverable. So please make sure your address is up to date. If you'd like to get a postcard from us, head on over to DLWeekly.net/support and become an official weekly tier and get on the list.
Welcome back to TriviaLand, Chef. My name Raymond, and I hope them answers are bigger and better than this here back porch I got attached to me. Don't you know, Evangeline and I wish y'all the best of luck.
Well, welcome back to TriviaLand. I hope you had a great time, but I'm glad you've returned to my happy haunt, as some might call TriviaLand in Halloween time, right?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, so I had 4 Halloween questions for you that I dug up, and we're going to see how you did. First one, when did Jack Skellington and Company take over the Haunted Mansion for Haunted Mansion Holiday? You both told me 2001. You could have been more specific with October 3rd, 2001, but that's close enough for me to give you the points.
Compared to now, that's like super late, too.
I know. Can you imagine waiting that long for it? My second question for you was the Halloween event in Disneyland and DCA has gone through 4 different names since opening in 1995. Can you tell me all of them? In 1995 and 96, and then again from 2010 to 2018, it was called Mickey's Halloween Party.
Woohoo!
Good job, Teresa.
Both of those instances were in Disneyland Park.
Okay.
From 2005 to 2007, it was Mickey's Halloween Treat. You were hot on that one,
close.
Teresa. Right over in DCA. That was replaced by Mickey's Trick or Treat Party. Still in the DCA area. And then finally, 2019, as we know it now, Oogie Boogie Bash. Very well done, you two.
Dang, not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad at all. You were even like thinking that 4th one you weren't sure of like Mickey's Halloween Trick or something.
Dang.
That was
so
like,
I should have just like mush the two names together.
You really should have just committed to it. But, it was close enough for me. We'll call it like a king-size candy bar give out, and you can have that one.
Goodness gracious.
My third question for you is, I wanted to know what costumes Mickey and friends were wearing this year. As best as I can describe them in simple terms, Mickey and Minnie are dressed as skeletons. Minnie's kind of just in a cute dress, but has like a skeleton bone bow, so I think that counts. Donald and Daisy are dressed like a witch and a wizard. Goofy and Clarabelle are indeed scarecrows this year.
There we go.
Pluto is dressed like a pumpkin, which really isn't much. He kind of changes his collar and he's got a cute little hat, but it works. And Chip and Dale are an angel and a devil.
Adorable.
Oh, there we go.
An angel and a devil. It's like the little shoulder plushes.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Mm-hmm. And finally, taking you back in history for my last question. At the inaugural Oogie Boogie Bash in 2019, there were 5 treat trails. Which characters were on those treat trails? And one or more of them might have just had oversized cauldrons there. You never really know. You didn't really fall for that trick. Based on everything I could find of not being there, the 5 featured characters on the treat trails are the Mad Hatter, Dr. Facilier, the Evil Queen, Sid, and Oogie Boogie himself, of course. But I can't find that to be 100% confident on it. So for all we know, Maleficent was there because I wasn't there, so I'm not really sure.
Wrong.
But she might have been featured in the parade where there were a ton more characters too.
Mm-hmm.
But those 5, I could find something about that they were definitely involved in something like that. And I think that's pretty great. So very well done, you two. It was a great week of trivia questions for you.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
No surprise. You know your stuff about Halloween at the parks.
Well, Teresa definitely does, because it's like, I think it's one of her, is it your favorite holiday, Halloween?
Yes, I think it is my favorite holiday. I've never, defined a favorite holiday, but okay. I need to follow up on your, I'm very confused. I'm looking at videos, and I'm also looking at the event guide. The event guide, you're right, lists 5, but doesn't list Sid. And I was convinced he was there.
Okay, see, I wasn't sure either, but you were so confident I just went with it. I'm pretty sure Sid showed up in 2021 as a new thing.
Maybe. And then I was just looking at Fresh Bake's 2019 video, and Maleficent was there.
She was on a trail?
She was on a trail.
So it was Maleficent, not Sid.
Maleficent, not Sid.
Well, there we go.
My memory has failed me.
That's what happens when you get older,
Do you know what's
Teresa.
crazy, though? Because remember, I told you, I'm like, when you and I went the first time, which would have been 2021, I'm like, we start in the back and work our way forward. So why would I have known that trick if I hadn't done it already?
I don't know.
We're losing it. If anyone was there the first time, please confirm or deny.
It was so easy to find. Mad Hatter, Oogie Boogie, Facilier. Evil Queen showed up eventually for me. But the 5th one, I'm like, it might just be a cauldron that you walked around, because I'm just like, there's nothing saying yes, this character was definitely there.
Dr. Facilier was stinking cool. I was just showing Tag. You know what? Here, we'll put this in the show notes, the Fresh Bakes video, if anybody wants to walk down memory lane.
Yeah, so someone give us confirmation so we can make sure that we're right on who was there, because, I just trusted Teresa, and clearly that was such a mistake. Oh, her confidence got me. What can I say? But I had a fun time revisiting Mickey's Halloween party. If you have ideas for future trivia questions that you think producer Vern and I should ask, hopefully you know how to find us by now. Our website will get you a form to send in those questions. You can find it at dlweekly.net/trivia.
Well, we will be back next week with more Disneyland news and information.
Until then, go out and enjoy the parks.
And a special thank you to Sidel for editing the podcast.
Please remain seated until the podcast comes to a complete stop and the doors have opened. Then collect your belongings, watch your head, and step carefully from the episode. On behalf of all of our crew, thanks for traveling with us, and we hope you have a happy and memorable visit here at DL Weekly.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.